Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Devil's Digest postgame show following Arizona State's 27-19 victory here at Mount America Stadium over Utah. As always, my name is Justin Lester Tosa. That's publisher Hode Urbino. And Hode, ASU improves to 5-1 on the season, 2-1 in Big 12 play. And coming into this game, college football fans across the nation were sort of less than impressed with ASU's hot start to the season for one reason or another. But after this win over number 16 Utah, should probably have reasons to be impressed.
Yeah, I think they're going to be impressed. I think the voters.
Go Devils!
I think the voters in the AP Top 25 poll are going to be impressed. I totally expect ASU to be ranked. If anyone wants to follow online, Sunday, 11 o'clock Arizona time, that's when the poll drops. But look, I mean, I think if you're talking from a pragmatic standpoint, yes, Kansas, Mississippi State, Wyoming are not exactly world beaters. So I could see, like you said, maybe not being a whole lot impressed. You and I talked in the preview. This was an opportune moment to make a statement win against a very familiar foe from the days of the Pac-12, a foe that really had ASU's number quite a bit. 55-3 win in Salt Lake City last year. That is still a painful memory for a lot of people. Arizona State does get those sweet revenge. I'm sorry, guys. I got to use grit. I got to use resolve because this was another win where Arizona State shot itself in the foot time and time again. Does it matter? Of course not. Arizona State, comes up with the win. Unbelievable defensive performance. We'll talk about that in a minute. Offense kind of sputtered in the first half, but the second half there was a freight train by the name of Cam Skattebo. Runs a little faster than the light rail here behind the stadium. Was just an absolute tour de force by the ASU running back. Just an unbelievable performance by Arizona State. And this is a team right now, Justin, that if people still want to doubt him out after tonight, fine. Go ahead. You go ahead and do it at your own peril because this team even proved a lot of other people wrong, thinking that Utah was going to bounce back after the loss to Arizona 2 weeks ago. ASU came here on a short week. Utah came here after a bye week, had their starting quarterback, Cam Rising. It all didn't matter. Arizona State with another week, another thrilling win. And this team just continues to impress quite a bit and slowly but surely turning skeptics into believers.
Yeah, and looked a little worrying for quarterback Sam Levitt at a point in this game. Got hit pretty hard, got sent to the locker room, a potential rib injury for him, but was able to come back into the first half and then play the entire second half and close out the game for ASU. And you mentioned ASU's offense looked a bit iffy in that first half, but down the stretch of the game, a guy like Cam Skattebo, a guy like Sam Levitt, sort of controlling those margins, as Kenny Dillingham said. What'd you like out of ASU's offense?
Yeah, I think when it does come to offense, like you said, the first half wasn't all that impressive. And look, I mean, they played a very, very tough Utah defense. I mean, sure, second half there was no stopping Skattebo, no stopping the running game. But Arizona State did definitely struggle at times. When you look at the stat sheet, it wasn't a phenomenal game by Sam Levitt by any means. 11 out of 18, 154 yards, one touchdown, one interception that only did cost ASU 3 points. But I think there's something to be said when you have your offensive leader on the field. And by the way, let's also give kudos to backup quarterback Jeff Sims, signal caller that really had a rough fall camp. Even the practices following that fall camp were not all that great performance-wise, but he comes in relief of Sam Levitt for about a handful of snaps. Actually did score a rushing touchdown, so I'm sure that is something that really helps his confidence and really was pleasing for the coaches to see. But obviously, Justin, the story of the game is running back Cam Skattebo. Again, I mean, we hate to sound boring. We wish we could come up with something creative to describe how ASU wins, who are the players that stand out in each and every win. But yes, it is Cam Skattebo again. 22 carries, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Both touchdowns come in the second half. One touchdown for 50 yards. The other one, quote unquote, just 47 yards. He averaged over 7 yards a carry. He also had 41 receiving yards on 4 receptions, so just about 200 all-purpose yards. And by the way, did we mention he's still on the kickoff team, by the way. He didn't take the night off. It's amazing how ASU really hit the transfer portal lottery, if you will. Cam Skattebo, one of the best running backs in the FCS ranks, didn't have a bevy of power conference teams after him. He comes to Arizona State. He was by far one of the only shining lights in this offense in 2023, and in 2024 he just absolutely stepped up his game. And we know that this offense, this team, is going to be successful as long as Cam Skattebo is really putting up great numbers, is really making game-changing plays, and it really was just another night in the office for Cam Skattebo. Wide receiver Jordan Tyson, 5 receptions, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. After the 2 touchdowns he had last week, it's finally good to see the wide receiver that Justin and I have seen all through fall camp and the practices make incredible plays in the aerial attack. And I thought he had kind of a slow start to the season, but the connection between him and Sam Levitt is really something special. So this offense, definitely gave the fans a lot of anxious moments. They started the second half with back-to-back 3 and outs, but I think their teammates on the other side of the ball did them absolute solid, because it was a great defensive performance, even though the offense didn't always support them. But you really have to give kudos to the offense and kudos to Cam Skattebo. Just two monster plays that, besides putting points on the board, I really thought just broke the spirit of this Utah defense that was trying to claw themselves back into the game.
Yeah, and there were a lot of worries about ASU's defense coming into this game. We talked about it in the preview. Keyshawn Elliott, Clayton Smith, both out for the first half because of those 2 targeting penalties against Kansas, to the backbones of this ASU defense. But Brian Ward talked about that next man up mentality. Surely some guys stepped up, and ASU's defense really lived up to the occasion.
Yeah, next man up is just another cute football cliche that doesn't always work. But I think there's one linebacker by the name of Caleb McCullough that might have something to say about that. He led Arizona State with 12 tackles. He had not 1 but 2 interceptions. Also had a tackle for loss. Played an absolute monster game. Even when Keyshawn Elliott was eligible to play in the second half, but also in the first half played really well. Keith Abney, who maybe at times struggled a little, but did have an interception when an almost second targeting call in a row against Clayton Smith was going to take place. Thank goodness there were different people in the review booth, at least I think there were different, that did actually turn that call around. But this defense just played out of their minds, Justin. They did not give up more than 7 points in any quarter. In the fourth quarter, they only gave up 3 points. Again, it wasn't really an explosive performance by the offense by any means. And this defense at times I thought was really got caught on its heels. You saw Cam Rising, the Utah quarterback, maybe find his groove more in the second half than they did in the first half. The running game was really doing its thing. But I just felt that this defense, when the big place to be had, that they absolutely delivered. I'm not saying there was apprehension about Cam Rising returning to the starting role at quarterback for the Utes after missing the last 3 games. But a lot of folks thought that this was going to be maybe not a deal breaker, but something that would tip the scales in Utah's favor. Well, Cam Rising has 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, only completed 16 of 37 passes for 209 yards. I think some of his receivers didn't do him any favors and drop balls that prevented big plays. But Cam Rising did not look at sync at all with his wide receivers. I think that Utah coaches, maybe privately, not publicly, are thinking maybe they need to insert freshman Isaac Wilson into the lineup, because with Cam Rising, it really was not going all that well. And ASU survived, I would say, a pretty good rushing attack by Utah. Micah Bernard, their starting running back, 129 yards on 21 carries, averaging over 6 yards, and scoring 1 touchdown. But really, it was a little, it was too little, too late. Even though he had some big plays, but whether it's interceptions, whether it's turning over the ball on downs, I think that the rushing game for Utah did not nearly play at the level that they really would expect them to. So this ASU defense, again, just played absolutely out of their minds. A lot of people are asking me, is this the best defense that I've seen in my 25 years? I would say, let's say in this century, definitely top 5. Even though it wasn't a shutout or anything close to that. But they faced a Utah offense which we thought we really would have their way with the Sun Devils, and that really didn't happen. Again, Utah did not score more than 7 points in any quarter tonight, scoring only 3 in the fourth quarter. An absolute masterful job by Brian Ward. And next man up is not just a cute slogan.
So now, Hoda, as we mentioned, ASU moves to 5-1 on the season, 2-1 in Big 12 play, and it's important for this team to sort of not get too high, sort of tame its own expectations moving into this next half of the season. And not many people could have predicted that ASU could clinch bowl eligibility at all this season. And here we are mid-October, and looks pretty likely that ASU will do that at some point. And a lot of fans will likely get their expectations a little bit too high. So I was just curious from your perspective, what do you think the ceiling is for the Sun Devil team?
Yeah, well, first of all, I know Kennedy Dillingham said, but a lot of people already think and know about this Big 12 conference. It's a conference where you just find yourself saying every Saturday or every Sunday after the games, can you believe that score? Can you believe that score? So nice that ASU is in the right side of can you believe that score? But now, to your point, Justin, ASU has to make sure they're not on the wrong side of can you believe the score, because obviously the perception of the Big 12 media, Big 12 fans of ASU is a whole lot different. First of all, you ask me what the ceiling is. I know what the floor is not. It's not last place. And I know maybe it's easier for people that are close to the team, that cover the team every day, to know that this was nowhere close to being a last place team, just like the media preseason poll predicted. Last place out of 16 teams, by the way. So I think that people are really just viewing ASU in really in a total different light. As far as the ceiling, I mean, look, I think if fans are saying that we just don't want 6 wins and a bowl eligibility, we want 7, we want 8. I think that's really a legitimate ask, if you will. I think winning 8 games this year for Arizona State is definitely in their grasp. I mean, look, the wins are great, and there's no such thing as an ugly win. But you can really say with a straight face that aside from the Wyoming contest, ASU did not play a clean game. ASU did not play a game where the errors were really minimal. So can you imagine ASU actually playing a much cleaner game than they played so far in their wins against Kansas, Utah, Mississippi State, and Texas State? I mean, I think it's going to be something that even would put the perception at a higher level than it already is right now. There really is a lot of parity in this Big 12 conference. We know that, and I just think that Arizona State is right now just part of that group of teams that are really surprising and really going to battle all the way until Thanksgiving weekend as far as who's going to be the 2 representatives in the Big 12 championship game. One thing that Kenny Dillingham said in the post-game press conference is, to all those ASU fans that went to Vegas and bet the over of 4.5 wins, whatever your winnings are, put it back in the Sun Angel Collective. Support these football players that really have exceeded expectations because they really deserve the support. Activate the Valley. You can call it a cute slogan, but the way Arizona State is doing it methodically, week after week after week, Activate the Valley is not going to become a slogan. It's may become just a really way of life for sports fans in Maricopa County.
Well, Hold, as Bill Belichick once said, we're on to Cincinnati. Next up on the calendar for ASU are the Cincinnati Bearcats. Next Saturday, 9 a.m. Arizona time up in Ohio. ASU looks to move to 6-1 on the season. We'll be there with all the coverage, but to stay locked in on everything Sun Devil football related, go to DevilsDigest.com. Follow Devils Digest on Twitter at Devils Digest. We'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.